First thing first, can you tell me what time it is? Oh, it's big time. All right, so you want to make sure you take your jug and put assembly lube and make sure that the assembly lube gets on all spots. So go ahead and take your finger and get it messy. Make sure to finger it up really well. If you have to use 2 fingers, 3 fingers, you have to use your whole fist, whatever you want to do. However you like it. Make sure you get this nice and lubed. Get your mind out of the gutter. I can see you typing on that keyboard right now. Something perverted. Welcome back, guys. So how you guys liking this season of MOTO-VATION? Good? Also, have you seen the other seasons of MOTO-VATION? There are 2 other seasons. Go ahead and click up here in the corner. You can check out that playlist and watch whenever you like. Today, we're gonna show you how to check your clearances on your valves and go ahead and set them to the proper specs. It is pretty detailed, so pay close attention. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. But other than that, welcome back to MOTO-VATION. Clearance should be either 0.06 inches or 0.152 millimeters. And then on the exhaust side, 0.11 inches or 0.279 millimeters. 0.06 is 0.152, and in millimeters, 0.011 is 0.279. So we need to go a lot looser on this one, a little bit looser on this one. And these have shims. I've pulled the pins so you can actually see them better. So let me grab a pointer here. So these on top of the retainers, these little pieces right here, are the shims. So these are how small the shims are. I have a whole box here. So let's figure out which one we need. And so as you can see from my chicken scratch, I had to do this a couple times on the exhaust side to get it to where it needed to be. So how I do it is I put the separate for the millimeters and the inches, right? And then I circle what shim is in there. So these had 2.4s in it, and this had a 2.5 and a 2.3. So then I changed these to get within this spectrum so it would be good. Pretty straightforward, takes a couple tries. Also, when you put the shims in, make sure that you rotate the motor 360 degrees. I always do it twice and then find the T mark. You see there is a T and there is a little notch. And you're gonna look and you're gonna see intake, exhaust. Right, so intake, exhaust, and check it. So that way it pushes them in and everything's set where it needs to be. So 0.006 goes on the intake side, slides. I already checked and made sure 7 doesn't fit. Now we'll go to the exhaust side. That one's a little tighter, but that's still how it should be. And then this one's just as tight, a little bit tight, but it's still within the spectrum. If this fits, no other size fits. That's how you set your shims to everything. This motor is set and ready to ride. All right, so I got a new cam chain tensioner, and it comes with a little tool. You can use a flathead to do this, but this little tool is awesome. Compress it all the way in. Take your little tool, stick it in there. So then that holds it in place. Carefully make sure you put your gasket on. Now these should be at like about 9 foot-pounds, so I just get them snug, and then you can pull your little tool out. We have this. I'll show you why I'm replacing this. So there was no real tension on that. These threads kind of stripped at one point. So I put some Loctite in here and it held. It's pretty much held on by one thread. So you want to make sure when you put this in here that you do not, I repeat, do not tighten very hard. Just find its snugness and leave it. Not even an 1/8 a turn, nothing. Just snug. Once it's snug, it's good. Put this in. Always make sure that the O-ring gasket, this you can actually get tight. Put our wheel fitting on. Make sure your O-rings are in their place. You get this one. Same thing, don't over tighten. I'm gonna take a peek. So there's a little bit of gunk on the thermostat, not a big deal. Just gonna look this over. And we will get this back on. You won't get this too tight because the bolt for the radiator bracket mounts to the upper bolt on this. All right. We are good to go. And that, my friends, is how you put a new jug and piston and new head with new cams in a 250/300. So when removing this, you want to go kind of counterclockwise or clockwise, so in a star pattern, to remove all these. And we got the SMR, Sex Machine Racing. Yes, that's the name of it, as you can see right there. 5 springs. There's anything, we got a sticker. And like I said, you need to put it on in a star formation. So these are 30% more firm than stock. I could say, yeah, that's about right. Now when we install these, get them in as far as you can by hand. Just trying to make sure that they all stay even. Make sure you get the gasket clean of all oil if you're going to reuse it, otherwise you should replace it. And you want to make sure that this right here is lined up with that, which is for the coolant. And when putting all the screws back in, you just make sure that none of them protrude further than the rest. Also, there's a screen inside of there that needs to be cleaned. So while you're in there, you might as well clean it. This long one goes here. When putting all the screws on here, you want to make sure that you do it in a star pattern as well. I'm just going to get these on here with this. I'm not going to actually give it any ugga-duggas. Now, go around and tighten everything. Oh, and don't hit yourself in the junk. I got everything tight. And I'm gonna put this back on one last time. Was all that helpful, or did you guys already know how to do all that? In the next episode, I reveal my new wheels and all the powder coated parts, and we can finally start assembling the entire bike. So I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.